Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Joey. As you've seen in the title, could Nate Diaz versus Kamaru Usman be next for the welterweight title? And I'm sad to say that there's a high probability that if Nate Diaz can get by Leon Edwards next month, then that will be the next welterweight title fight. And I want to go to get this out of the way right away. I would hate this. Nate Diaz in no means deserves a title shot. But if you think about it, right? So first off, the news came out this week. I was on vacation, so I didn't make a video about it. Nate Diaz was originally supposed to fight Leon Edwards at UFC 262, which would have been a week from this Saturday. But apparently Nate Diaz had some type of minor injury. The fight got moved to UFC 263. So it'll be on the same card as Adesanya versus Vittoria as the main event. But if you look at Leon Edwards, who I believe is the number 2 ranked welterweight right now, and on a 9 or 10 fight win streak at this point. If Nate Diaz, who in the UFC's eyes is a superstar, he's a very popular guy, if he's able to go out and put on a spectacular performance against Leon Edwards, I guarantee they will give him a title shot next. Kamaru Usman even said in an interview recently that if Nate Diaz were to go out and put on a performance, maybe he would fight him next. And why wouldn't Kamaru Usman want that fight? That's easy money. And I know a lot of Diaz fans aren't going to like it. I'm a huge Diaz brothers fans. But if Kamaru Usman fights Nate Diaz, Kamaru Usman is going to wreck him. You know, what has been the number one liability for the Diaz brothers for years? It's been their defensive wrestling. They have decent jiu-jitsu, but they just cannot stop the takedown. And Diaz is not a natural welterweight. I don't care what Dana White says to help excuse the Conor McGregor loss. He's not a natural welterweight. We've seen what Rory McDonald did to him years ago. I mean, so long ago. And if you had him come in on a 1-fight win streak against Leon Edwards and fight Kamaru Usman for the welterweight title, I would be absolutely sick. You have a welterweight division where I made a video the other day talking about Chiesa's claim to a potential title shot, where there's a lot of welterweight contenders, but no one guy truly deserves it right now. Leon's on a massive win streak, but he hasn't fought anyone legitimate. He's fought some decent guys, but nobody of top caliber. You have Colby Covington, who arguably most people think he's the most deserving, but he's won one fight since he got just beat by Kamaru Usman, got his jaw broken in the 5th round, and it was against Woodley, who's now no longer even in the UFC. So he was on the decline there. So then you also have Wonderboy, who's fighting Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns obviously just lost to Kamaru Usman, so he has to get a win to be back on track to potentially get a title shot. So you have all these different guys, and there's no clear-cut number 1 contender. Masvidal obviously just lost for a second. Now, he didn't even deserve that shot to begin with, but because it was such on, because the narrative of the short notice first fight, they gave him that shot, and Kamaru Usman ended that right there. He slapped him in the 2nd round. We will probably never see Kamaru Usman. We'll never see Jorge Masvidal fight for a belt again. Definitely if Kamaru Usman is champion, that will never happen. They will never do a trilogy when he lost both fights so decisively. So when you have no clear-cut number 1 contender, and I know the UFC said Colby Covington's definitely next and this and that, but how many times has Dana White and the UFC said, this or that guy's definitely next, and then they don't get the shot? They said it right before the Leon Edwards Bilal Muhammad fight. They said, Leon Edwards is definitely next. And I know that fight ended on a weird technicality, eye poke, but Leon Edwards was winning that fight. They could have gave him the next title shot, but they didn't. And so those guarantees mean absolutely nothing. If you think when Dana comes out and says Colby Covington is definitely getting the next shot or this guy is definitely getting the next shot, that doesn't mean anything. We've heard that year after year, time after time, different fighter after different fighter. And there's a lot of them that has just never panned out. Some of them have, but some of them hadn't. And then also you have Kamaru Usman, and I'm usually a guy that hates when champions try to pick fights. But I think Kamaru Usman deserves some leeway. He's the most active guy in the whole division, and he's the champion. He's fought all the top guys. So he has a little bit of say in who he fights. He's already beat Colby. He beat Masvidal twice. He beat Gilbert Burns. He's been fighting all the tough guys time and time again. So if he says, you know what, UFC, Nate Diaz just beat the brakes off Leon Edwards, which I doubt will happen, so luckily that'll probably shut it down right there. Let me fight him next. And Nate Diaz, as, crazy as he is and whatnot, he'll take that fight. He wants to fight the best guys, and he will take that fight, especially for a title. He knows he'll lose, most likely. But who knows? Maybe he gets a Hail Mary submission off his back. I don't know. But if you look at his last 3 fights, I mean, how can you warrant just one win, a title shot? His last 3 fights are against Conor McGregor, a loss to Conor McGregor. I arguably thought he won. Then a win over Anthony Pettis, which was super impressive, but it's Anthony Pettis, and we've seen where Anthony Pettis has been, his career trajectory since then, and even at that point in time. And then Nate Diaz has not fought since 2019, November 2019. I was actually at that event, UFC 244 in Madison Square Garden, where he got dominated by Jorge Masvidal. And I know a lot of people say, oh, when he was on the verge of making a comeback, he's stronger as longer the fight goes on. But Masvidal was beating the shit out of him for, a good couple rounds at that point and split him open. I seen all I needed to see. Jorge Masvidal won that fight and was out grappling him in that fight as well. So I really hope, as much as I would love, I'm a huge Diaz fan. As much as I would love to see him get a win, if he gets a win against Leon Edwards, the welterweight division is going to be an absolute shambles because I think the UFC is going to give him a title shot. I would say I'm 95% sure. I hope it doesn't happen, but I have a feeling if he gets that win next month at UFC 263, they will probably give him a title shot against Kamaru Usman. So let me know what you think in the comments. I'm curious what everyone thinks about this. I'm curious if you even thought about this because I didn't think about this until the other day. Let me know what you think, about Nate Diaz being moved to UFC 263. How devastated were you about that? Because I was really looking forward to that fight. Even though the Nate Diaz versus Leon Edwards fight doesn't make a lot of sense, it was an intriguing and fun fight. It was kind of out of nowhere, and it was probably going to be awesome. It should be a stand-up war. I think Leon probably beats him, but I'll do a prediction video when we get closer to the event, which now will be UFC 263 on June 12th. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.